We try not to leave things out when they aren't in use, but we noticed that we were doing exactly that with our television. This hidden TV cabinet keeps it all and all related electronics nicely stored away. You'll need 2x4s, 1x4s, 2x2s, and 1x2s, 2.5-inch, 2-inch, and 1.25-inch screws. You may also need some washers, miter saw, nail gun, safety glasses, 1-inch brad nails for the nail gun, measuring tape, level, drill, pilot hole and screwdriver bits, wood filler, sandpaper, and 2 door hinges, a table saw, 6 swivel caster wheels. Since the cabinet is going to be heavy, I'm using non-marking wheels to protect my floors, paints, stains, brushes, and a drop cloth. TV lift. I'd originally looked into using a linear actuator for this project, but after adding up all the additional part requirements, to include a DC transformer and remote control, as well as the process of building guides, I found that an off-the-shelf TV lift is actually less expensive, requires less material, and makes for a much easier project. 60-inch sliding door track with hardware. All measurements given in this project are for a 48-inch TV and this particular TV lift. There's a lot of wood to cut, so I'll be giving you the measurements as we go. First, cut 4 2x4s at 40 inches long. Lay out 2 of these and top with 1x4s cut at 24 inches long. You'll be cutting 12, but only adding 11 right now. Tack in place with the nail gun. Flip over, drill pilot holes, and secure each 1x4 end with a 2-inch screw. Follow the same process for the other 2x4s. These are your 2 side pieces. Cut 4 2x4s at 60 inches long and attach to the outer top and bottom of the 2 side pieces with 2.5-inch screws. Always drill pilot holes first to avoid wood splits. Lay the frame down and begin assembling the back. Attach 9 1x4s cut at 60 inches long with 2.5-inch screws. Start right underneath the 2x4 and line up next to each other and keep going to cover almost the entire back. Leave the gap at the bottom unfilled for cords and airflow. While the piece is laying down, add a 60-inch 2x4 along the bottom edge of both the front and back with 2.5-inch screws. Use 2 screws per end to reinforce these corners. Once the bottom 2x4 supports are in, add the 12th 1x4 to the bottom of each of the side pieces. Tack in place with the nail gun and secure with a 2-inch screw on each end from the inside. Attach the wheels to the bottom 2x4 on each corner with 1.25-inch screws. If needed, use washers for a more secure fit. Attach the last 2 wheels in the middle. Return the cabinet upright so it's sitting on its wheels and assemble the floor. Place 16 24-inch 1x4s on top of the bottom supports. There will be a gap at the end, so rip the 17th 1x4 to size with a table saw. Secure the boards in place with the nail gun. Find the middle of the cabinet's back and mark with a pencil. Remove the base plate from the TV lift. Cut a 7-inch 1x4 and place it under the base plate for a little extra height. Secure the back 2 holes down with 2-inch screws and the front 2 with 1.25-inch screws. Use washers if needed. Reconnect the TV lift to the base plate and use a level to ensure the lift sits perfectly straight. Mark the holes with a pencil. Drill pilot holes through the markings. Using these pilot holes as a reference, line up a 33-inch 2x4 underneath each one. They should wedge in between the top and bottom 2x4s and will serve as additional support for the weight of the TV. Secure at both ends with a few 2-inch screws. Secure the TV lift to the back of the cabinet with 1.25-inch screws. Attach the TV to the lift and test. Cut 2 2x4s at 24.125 inches and wedge in on either side of the TV. Secure with 2.5-inch screws. Place a 64-inch 1x4 along the front edge of the cabinet. Ensure that the overhang on either side is the same, and that there is 1 3/4 inches of overhang on the front. Secure with 2.5-inch screws. Place 4 more 64-inch 1x4s behind this piece to make part of the top. Secure with 2-inch screws into the two 2x4s on either side of the TV. Lay down 4 64-inch 1x4s and place a 13.5-inch 1x4 under each end. Secure the ends in place with 1 1/4-inch screws. Place this piece on the open area on the top. Make sure there's a small gap between this piece and the 1x4 in front of it. Place the hinges on either end underneath the back top piece. Mark where they sit with a pencil. Remove the top and secure one side of the hinge into the 2x4 with 1 1/4-inch screws. Use the pencil marks to secure the other side of the hinge to the top piece. Cut 2 17-inch 1x4s and place them on either side of the front part of the top so they line up with the hinged top's 1x4s. Tack in place with a nail gun. When inside of the cabinet, my TV sits about 7 inches from the back, so I'm going to start building the middle at 8 inches from the back. Line a 13-inch 2x2 up so that the back edge is 8 inches from the back. Secure with a 2-inch screw at each end. Follow the same process for the other side. Use 2 scrap 1x4s to stack and support a 60-inch 1x4 at each end. This will create a gap for cords and ventilation. Screw each end of the 1x4 into the 2x2 with 1 1/4-inch screws. Add 3 more 1x4s. Before adding the 5th 1x4, use 1 scrap piece at each end to create another gap. Add 4 more 1x4s, then rip a 5th to finish off the wall. Mark the bottom front 2x4 at 20 inches and at 40 inches. Place a 39-inch long 2x2 at the 20-inch mark and secure from behind and at both ends with a 2.5-inch screw. Place a 33-inch long 2x2 on the wall directly behind the front one. This should fit on the wall itself and not block any of the gap at the top or bottom. Secure at both ends with 2-inch screws. Cut 11 13 3/4 inches long 1x4s and begin placing them to the right of the 2x2s. Tack in with a nail gun. Cut an 11-inch 1x2 and place it on the back of the divider wall just assembled. Its top edge should sit 3/4 of an inch under the gap. Secure in place with 1 1/4-inch screws. Cut a 10 1/4-inch 1x2 and place it directly opposite of the first 1x2. Use a 1x4 in level to ensure it sits straight and secure in place with 1 1/4-inch screws. Place 2 1x4s and 1 1x2, all cut at 21 inches long, on the 2 1x2s to create the first shelf. Create another shelf the same way above the first. Note: add 2-inch screws through the shelf-bearing 1x4s for a more secure, stable shelf. Follow the same process for the other side of the cabinet at the 40-inch mark to create another section with 2 shelves. Create shelves in the middle section following the same process. To make the doors, cut 6 40-inch 1x4s and lay them down with a 21.5-inch 1x4 under each end. Secure in place with 1.5-inch screws. Make a second door following the same process. Fill in any nail holes with a wood filler and sand smooth when dry. Paint, stain, or do both to the cabinet. If you decide to leave the TV in place during the painting process, cover it with a drop cloth first. I'm only painting the outside, front shelving, and doors. Spray paint the sliding door track and hardware. I'm using Rust-Oleum's metallic oil-rubbed bronze. When dry, mount the sliding door track under the top front 1x4's overhang with the accompanying screws. These screws should not be longer than 3/4 of an inch so they don't push through the top. Add the track hardware to the tops of both doors. Feed the hardware's wheels onto the track to create sliding doors for the left and right side cabinets. Add the accompanying stops to either end so the doors don't fall off. Load with your favorite electronics. And only see your TV when you want to watch it. On the fly, DIY.